Hi
Hello.
guys, it's Angie back with another video from MBTI INFJ, and today I have my ENFP best friend of 11 years.
11 years? Me.
And today we're going to talk about our ENFP.
My name is Mackenzie. Mackenzie, by the way.
I left out the introduction. ENFP is all you need to know. Basically, we've been best friends for forever, and I've been wanting her to be on this channel for a while now, and finally got her on to do an interview of why we're friends and how this kind of our relationship and friendship works. I remember distinctly because it was almost winter break and we went to different colleges. Like, she was in Oregon and I was in Asheville, North Carolina at the time.
Wow.
And
wow.
Yeah.
Neither one of us graduated from the schools we were
we definitely
at
didn't.
that time.
Both of us did not stay there. But I came back. Yeah, we transferred. The INFJ, ENFP dynamic is so strong. We had to transfer back to be with each other
at the same time. Both freshman year.
Both freshman year. But I remember coming back from winter break and I was like, I wonder what Mackenzie is. And I didn't really understand Myers-Briggs at the time, like what it really was or meant. So I was like, she has to be like similar to me because she's the only person in life that's like really ever understood me. And I was like, if this test kind of like understands who I am, then she has to be somewhat similar. So I was trying to like guess which type she might be at the time, and I was like, maybe she's an ENFJ because she's definitely more extroverted than I am. But then I remember texting you and I was like, what type are you? And you're like, I think I was an ENFP. And at the time it's just letters, right? And then years later I got into the functions of Myers-Briggs and even went into like, watching YouTube videos and being on Reddit and studying the functions to make sure that I was in fact an INFJ. There was a time where I thought maybe I was an ENTP. Definitely not an ENTP.
Hell no!
I'm not an ENTP.
ENTPs we know?
Now we think of ENTPs we know. Definitely not an ENTP, but I think because an INFJ has like, there's like a line between the thinking and feeling where I would say like between you and I would be closer to a T type than an ENFP, but not necessarily. I don't know, it's hard to say. Because of FI, because of introverted feeling where you're more aware of your own emotions, where I would say I'm a little bit like disconnected
but that's
from
like
them.
Trademark almost with being an INFJ.
Yeah,
I think that like ENTP you would have had a lot more external worldly experiences if you're an ENTP. You would have had more things that you needed to understand before you can understand yourself, whereas your thing was, I could take it, you had the experiences you needed. Your situations lied within yourself. Everything funnels back down to you as the individual and the one mind. And that's like the interesting thing, because so many people, introverted, extroverted, intuitive people, or sensors or feelers or thinkers, whatever, like orient themselves based on everything surrounding them. And I think that's what's so rare about like your personality type and you as a person, and why we're best friends, is because when I am with you, I'm only with you. I am not with anybody on your phone or anybody you've been with or anybody you're planning to be with. When you and me are together and you give me your time and you truly say we're going to spend this time together, we're in our own little world. And from there I can explode and have the ball of a time because I can like finally trust somebody to like soak up the things that I'm trying to give off, and you finally have somebody that is like looking you dead in the eyes saying reciprocate me, do the same with me. And like that basically was like 12 to 22, like 12 to 21 years old for us. Like
that was how it was. And it was,
I
think it made it hard because we met each other so young, like at 12 years old, and our like friendship was so instant that, and it was so like, if you're friends with anybody at that young of an age, like you have a bond because you grow up together. But for us, it was even more than that because I think our personalities were so distinct from other friendships.
And well defined for that age, for whatever random reason. That has nothing to do with what types we are. That was just, I think that had to do a lot with
our families. Our family situations were pretty similar, and we would deal with them and that's another thing. Like I was more of like as a kid would come to you with things that were happening, and I was like more disconnected from them, but I would say what was happening because I wanted to talk about it, but I wasn't like emotionally like torn up about them. I just be like, this is the situation that's happening at my house at the time. Let's go read a book or make a video or play outside. And like for Mackenzie, I feel like for you, it wasn't until like a few years into our friendship that like you really like let me in.
Mine was that I was so emotionally invested in everything that was going on or externally that I couldn't make the time to deal with it and process it myself so that I could then open up or confide in a friend. Like, for a while there, I mean, this is like just people growing up. Yeah. You would have these issues going on or these like problems or these like occurrences would happen and you'd be able to tell me immediately. And that was beautiful and great and that like made our friendship very strong. But meanwhile, I wasn't able to do the same thing because I was...
It was like protect.
It's very weird. It's like it is protective. And I want to say something real quick on an aside. Before freshman year of college, so up until 12 to 18, we relied on astrology. Like our thing was that we had figured out that I was a Cancer and she was a Pisces, and we were both water signs, and we were the most compatible friends, and we were intuitive and emotional based, and that basically functioned as a Myers-Briggs guideline for us for almost a decade.
A while.
Before we figured all of this out. So
we like knew that we went together well, and we were always trying to figure out like why is our friendship so different than like our friendships with other people.
And magical. And that is what I'm saying. The essence of our friendship was it was universal. It went beyond the world. It brought in like these like this solid truth of best frienditude and compatibility that I had never experienced before and will never experience with anyone else because I found my person.
The camera keeps dying, so it's going to be a little bit choppy how this video is, but I think the last thing, so we'll just kind of go into, we had talking points originally. So she's more into astrology for reasons that
I would take to a spiritual universal level where I think that the main purpose of things like Myers-Briggs, I would think Carl Jung would agree, was just to compartmentalize people so they could understand themselves so that they could self-grow.
Yeah.
And Myers-Briggs is, I think, the most effective method for understanding for me, Myers-Briggs is the most practical way because it, like what you were saying, when we list our functions out, it breaks them down for the first 10 years of your life, the second 10 years of your life, right? Or 20 years or so.
Yeah, growing through the functions.
Which brings me to why I have an INFJ best friend. The most important thing about my INFJ is that she maintains a solid grip on her internal intuition, internal feelings. Right?
Well, it's more...
I'm external intuition and internal feelings is like what I'm struggling with right now.
Yeah.
But somehow when I'm like struggling with all these things, you're doing the things that are helping you grow yourself as a person while I'm like hanging out with a bunch of people that aren't right for me, that I know that they're not right for me in the time and things like that, but I want to be social and I want to try.
Because you try everything like once or twice, you know? And for me it's more like I have to try things, but I cut people out quicker because I used to not be that way. And we were talking about that earlier, like I used to be more like, okay, I'll meet everybody where they're at and I'll meet them at their level and not dumb myself down, but just be whoever they needed me to be in that moment. And I've become less tolerable of that as I've gotten older. So she's seen me in like my college years, like past 4 or 5 years, and upon
dating guys that have abused that position, being friends with people that don't fully appreciate the position she's putting herself in, not fully seeing what she could be if she weren't hanging out with this. So from that angle, yeah, that upsets me. But at the same time as I'm saying, hey, you're not being authentic to yourself, I'm also doing the same things now. Now it has switched
Well, you're still being authentic to you, but you're willing to like give more, I think, to people who aren't worth your time. And I'm more like, I weigh out like who is worth spending my energy on, because I'm more
Energy
aware
on.
of
That's
yeah.
what it comes down to. Because when we're talking about the mixture of the astrology and the Myers-Briggs, that's where I think like the Cancer Pisces dynamic, the astrological dynamic is so important, because we're both emotion-based people, and I spend so much energy, and it's almost like I can't help it, right? Like, you would see people in a certain state that you could demote yourself to their level to evoke like a feeling of like empathy, like within yourself.
Yeah.
With that person.
Right.
It's almost automatic for me, where like the feelings of other people become my feelings. Like, I almost lose myself in other people's issues and problems when I have things in my...
Because you can almost
feel it.
You can feel it.
I can't not. Like, when I see in someone's eyes a struggle with a work problem, all of a sudden work is like the most important thing to me, and justice in the workplace is like, when in reality that's not me at all. I don't give a I just go in, clock in, do my thing, get out, and do my actual thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that's where you have always helped me, though, is like finding you helped me kind of define my own boundaries at a younger age, and like I kept with that like as I've gotten older, and I've helped myself with it as I've gotten older, like defining my own boundaries. And it's easier when you have someone who understands you, because I'm like I just look for that. And I realize that like I have to put myself out there to find other people that do understand me on a level that she does. But our relationship is so unique that it's like it's hard to level up to like what our friendship is, and it's like it becomes hard for me to accept less than it, which is so like then I can almost isolate myself in a sense, because I'm like, oh well, if it's not that,
we differ.
Yeah.
Because in the meantime, when I'm not meeting people which I have not yet met somebody that matches my emotional, spiritual, like intelligence, I will settle with that person and find something new that we
you find the external things that bring newness. I need to explore like them and their mind and stuff, and if it doesn't go to a deep level, it's like hard for me to like appreciate all the other things about them. And there's still things to appreciate about people who are different than you know?
Right.
But there are things that I appreciate about you and our friendship that it's
that
like it's
you
hard
like.
to So
we're constantly comparing to the INFJ ENFP dynamic, because it's magical. Like, the ENFP can say it's magical, and the INFJ like feels it, right?
Yeah.
Or do you see it? You know that.
I
like,
know
once
it.
it's out there in the truth, it's real now. Like, very interesting. The way as an ENFP, the way I view my friendship and relationship with my best friend INFJ is it is like hanging out with my magical witch best friend. It's almost like when I hang out with her, she's like, before we hang out, by the way, you remember how sacred this bond is. And I'm like, oh,
do I say that?
No, you don't say that, but you say it with your actions and your eyes, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden we're sinking into like that next level depth.
We are.
Hopefully most of you have found it someone. If not, just keep asking your first date, hey, take that Myers-Briggs personality test.
That's not how it works.
But
it's not. But it's hard to fill those shoes. But it's one thing is like throughout the years, we've been friends for so long, and like we've had rifts and stuff, and like, you know, life takes you apart. But I think what's so special about like our friendship and dynamic is that it's as if no time passes. We could have like life-changing events happen, and we're still like who we are when we meet back up.
It's the soul,
and we can just like
the essence of the person cannot stray from that.
And it's an unspoken thing in a lot of ways. Like, we could be at a party, and and a party that like, I don't know, we don't say anything to each other. We could be on opposite sides of the room, but something is like, I know she's uncomfortable, or she knows I'm uncomfortable, and all it takes is a look.
Which I haven't ever felt with any other human being I've ever met. And I've never met another human being that has said that they are an INFJ. Just saying. There's something subtle. It works at the energy field. There's something super subtle about, like, that relationship. It's almost like everything that I feel, you feel in a way that makes me understand how I feel that way. That's why I think the complementary, like, functions and all of that stuff are so, like, it's so interesting. Like, when you first, like, told me about that, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I was into it, like, super hardcore, and of course I was like, you have to understand this too. Like,
she told me about her her first function being the NI, like,
yeah,
introverted
it's very
intuition.
Hard to explain in general. So is extrovert intuition.
But I chase after that so much. That introverted intuition is probably how I come off on during this video, is like as somebody who can like navigate that, but it's like a weakness, right?
It's all in a sense, but you still have access to it, and I think that's why we play off of each other. Like in this video, like I'm trying to keep to like a single, like I can bounce around too in a lot of ways, but I'm more like following you and like chasing like your like paths and
bringing
stuff.
It back to that,
and then I try
point.
to bring it back to like a central thing. But you challenge me to explore different options. It's like as if we were on a hike, and if we were hiking alone, Mackenzie would, this is just like a metaphor for it, Mackenzie would like go to different places I would never go if I was alone. She'd go to like these different bushes and like this tree and all this stuff, and like, and if she was alone, yeah, she'd be exploring all that stuff, but like if I'm alone, I might stick to one bush for a really long time, or like one tree for a really long time, and find out all these intricacies of this one specific tree. And she would like, but if we're together, it's like a combination of that. Like we see a lot, but we also like
you help receive those the depth
of like one singular thing.
My poking around at a bunch of different things helps bring home the significance of the depth of that one tree because of all these other trees and all these other paths that we could have taken, right? And then if Angie's like sticking to the one, it's like almost like we need each other, because like even
we would miss a lot. It's like filling in like different holes. Being with each other is like having like a puzzle, and then it's like, oh, there's the missing piece, but I would never have that if you weren't here, type thing. But I'd have a lot of it, and you'd have a lot of it. But it wouldn't
like, fully synchronize the way. That's the only reason I agreed to do this video, is because like people need to see it in action. Like all these comments on your last video that are individual INFJs and individual ENFPs saying, I haven't found this other person yet. And I was sitting in the car reading these with her, and I was like, damn, these people just need to find their, because honestly, in the end of the day, Angie's my soulmate. Like, it's very, like, it's hard to say because I'm, like, in a long-term relationship with a guy that I like a lot, that is not, he's an INFP. He's an INFP. And he's not an INFJ. And doesn't share, there's something between Angie and I that he will only be able to, like, watch and admire. Yeah. And would never be able to tap into, because it's the way we play off each other. It's that when we're with each other, we're not, either one of us are fixed individuals. It's almost like the creation that we make between each other is why that connection is so beautiful, right? And that's like the stuff that people chase after in terms of like, it's like what creates like everything, like art and music. And
we're very, hold on, I'm going to see.
I can't,
it's too dark.
Can you see us?
I don't know. It's really dark, so
okay.
I'm going to turn on the light.
Hi!
Okay, it's much better.